Hello everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Destiny video. Have a few more spoilers to show off for Way of the Force, but before that I need to make a little note about yesterday's spoiler video. The cards in that video actually came from the I Rebel podcast. I've updated the description to reflect that, so go over, check them out, they're on Facebook. Today's spoilers actually come from the Destiny Council. We're going to jump into them, we just got 3 of them today. We're going to jump right into them, I'm going to take a look at them, discuss them, break them down, let you know what I think. First up here, we have Sebulba always wins. 2 resources, yellow villain event. Discard a support from play that has one or more tokens on it. This thing is really cool. So, 2 resources, you spend it, you get rid of a support that has any kind of token. Could be a damage token, could be a resource token. So this works really well with Sebulba's special, which lets him either take or remove resource tokens from supports. So with this, you can put a resource token on your opponent's really big, like an ATSC or something like that, and then if it's still out there and you're still alive, you spend or you still are playing, you spend 2 resources, play this, destroy the ATSD. Works with damage tokens, so it gets rid of backup muscle, gets rid of cards like drop zone. Um, I really like that you can basically, it makes refit now really dangerous to play if your opponents are going to be running this, because refit, if you play it on a vehicle that doesn't interact with damage, so essentially anything that's not like a resistance bomber or a Hawk 290, because the Hawk deals indirect to you equal to the number of damage on it, and then the resistance bomber, once it has 3 on it, it gets discarded. But you can play like a Millennium Falcon Rift refit to drop the cost, and you put a damage token on it. That damage before this card wouldn't really affect the card at all. It would basically just sit there and didn't have any kind of negative effect. Now, if somebody plays refit, they might be a little more hesitant to play it. If be like, okay, I'm playing a really expensive vehicle. I wonder if my opponent is playing. If my opponent's playing yellow, they may be running Sebulba always wins, and then they play it, and that support, that vehicle gets discarded. This is just really cool. So I think this also is really interesting with vehicle decks. So especially with Sebulba, so you can basically use Sebulba special, put resource tokens on your opponent's vehicles, and then use this card to get rid of those vehicles, and then maybe use something like cheat or some other kind of way to get this event back out of your discard pile and do it all over again. So I really like Sebulba always wins. It's going to make cards that add tokens to supports really interesting, because you can get rid of something like a remote stockpile with this. You can get rid of, again, backup muscle, drop zone, anything that has a token, whether it's damage or resources. They haven't done anything with placing shield tokens on a support or a card, but I wonder if they're going to be doing that in the future. But that is Sebulba always wins. Really cool card. Really looking forward to potentially playing this against, maybe especially against decks that are just running a lot of these heavy hitting supports. So that is that card. We're going to move right into our next one. And next up, we have prize goods, 1 resource, yellow neutral support. Action, exhaust this support and one of your characters to place 3 resources on the support or to take all resources from it. So again, without Sebulba always wins, this is kind of decent because you may be able to exhaust a character, put 3 resources on the support, and then basically exhaust or next round get the resources off of it, or use something like strategic planning to ready it so you can then take the resources from it. But with Sebulba always wins, though, if somebody plays this, they have to also consider that Sebulba always wins might get played and basically just destroy this card with all the resources on it. And at that point, you've kind of given up a lot of actions. In case if somebody does that, you've given up a lot of actions. You've given them an action to play it, to play prize goods. You've given up the action to use its ability, so you exhaust it plus a character to place 3 resources on it. So you've given up the action to play it, to use it, and then if somebody just gets rid of it, you're getting rid of all the resources on it. You're getting rid of the support, plus that character now that's been exhausted can't roll out unless you find a way to ready that character. So I like that it gives you 3 resources. If you run it with red, you can get those resources in the same round again with like strategic planning. Just basically ready it and then take all the resources. But it's really risky, especially with Sebulba always wins being out. So think it's kind of interesting. Really risky though, because you don't want to lose all those resources to something that just gets rid of a support. So Sebulba always wins, gets rid of it. Your opponent can also just sabotage it, or use an ATSC special to get rid of it, or any other ways that supports get discarded. So risky to run, but you get 3 resources out of it, and then if you go into the next round with those 3 resources, you have your 3 going in. You gain 2, so you have 5 resources to begin the round with, and that's huge. But again, quite a big risk to running this, especially with multiple ways to remove supports. So that is prize goods. We're going to move into our next card. And next up, we have the XS Stock Light Freighter, 2 resources, neutral yellow support vehicle, 1 range damage, 2 indirect damage, 3 specials in the blank, ambush, so you get to take that extra action after you play it. Special, place 2 resources on the support, or take all resources from it. You may take 1 additional action. So I like that. You can basically stack it up and then get another action out of it. If you use the action to remove the resources, you can then use that additional action to spend those resources on something like resolving a pay side, playing another event, playing an upgrade. 2 resources I think is good. I like that it has 2 damage sides. Also gives you ambush. But then again, the caveat is it puts tokens on here, and then again, with Sebulba always wins. If putting tokens on supports or just cards in general now becomes a thing, I can see Sebulba always wins being like a staple in villain yellow decks, just to get rid of cards like this or cards like prized goods and things like that, or just any other kind of card that adds or subtracts tokens from it, like back a muscle, drop zone, and so on. But I do like for 2 resources, you get a vehicle, you get 2 damage sides, you get 3 specials on it, you get ambush. Again, the risk being that your opponent may place a bubble always wins and blow up the vehicle and get rid of it. So I know I've mentioned Sebulba always wins quite a lot in this video, but I think it could have a really strong effect, especially if you're placing resources on something and then not being able to immediately get those resources back without them being able to play that card to get rid of the support. But that is the XS Stock Light Freighter. That is the final card for today's video. We'll be continuing making more spoiler videos. It looks like more and more creators are getting their spoilers from FFG. So as more and more creators get spoilers, I'll be doing my own recaps on those cards. And just, like subscribe here to know when I do another video covering more spoilers or anything Destiny related, really. And again, that's going to do it for this video. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll be back again with another video, I imagine, pretty soon. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, I want to thank you for watching and take care.